And that was Mowing the Lawn from the self-titled CD Detroit, which is just a fantastic CD. If you can find it in your local used record store, pick it up. And now John had an opportunity to speak with Bear in an undisclosed location, and we're going to play that interview now.
Roll it.
Hello.
Bear, thanks for talking to me this afternoon. So how did you and the guys meet and form?
Many years ago, we were in high school together, and then high school ended. And Jeff and I actually began a group a couple years out of high school that was entirely different than Detroit. That group became old and tired, so we decided to form a different group, and we went back to our old friends from high school, Grant and then Jeremy, and that's how that all happened.
And why did you guys decide to call the band Detroit?
Well, we actually had another name to begin with. We were called the Supernaturals, and we had to change our name from the Supernaturals because a notable Twin Cities music luminary already had a band called the Supernaturals, and he sent us a cease and desist letter. And then we actually played a show as the Supernaturals that resulted in a little bit of controversy, so we had to change our name to something else. And we were kind of fascinated by bands that had named themselves after places, and they were usually bands from those places like Boston or Kansas. And we were listening to a lot of music from the city Detroit at the time, so we decided, what the heck, Detroit sounds just as good as anything.
So what were your music influences for Detroit?
Whatever we were listening to at the time, and we were listening to a lot of different things. We used to all hang out at Jeff's apartment and just play records all the time. You know, I guess the most obvious ones would be something like Talking Heads, Queen, and just bands that we had listened to a little bit growing up, some of the larger things. We also tried to find more obscure references and insert them in unexpected places. But, part of the fun of that band for me is just trying to figure out some of those obscure references, so I don't want to ruin too much.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the influence seems to be epic rock, and you can really hear it.
Epic rock, but, I think individually we each brought stuff. Grant was a huge Kiss fan. I never liked Kiss much, but Grant loved Kiss, and so there's Kiss all over that band. And Jeremy was really into Kraftwerk at the time, so there's a little bit of Kraftwerk here and there. It's, it kind of ran the gamut of whatever we happened to have in our catalogs at the time.
There are a lot of memorable shows. A lot of them had themes. One of them that I remember was the Dude Drives a Chick Car slideshow. That was amazing.
Right.
I was in Lincoln, Nebraska, of all places, and saw you guys play at this dump called Duffy's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, their claim to fame was that Nirvana played there once in the 90s.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just remember you guys were in full Detroit mode, had to walk down the sidewalk in the front door just to get on the stage.
Oh, yeah. I totally remember that. We were so committed to our stupid ideas, and the only way that we could pull it off is by being fully committed to them, and so we did. I remember this specific show walking through. Was it cold out that night?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was freezing, and we had to wear our silly little costumes, like out in public. It wasn't like a dressing room to the wings to the stage. It was actually out into the world, then back into the club again. It was awesome.
Yeah, and it's Lincoln, Nebraska, so it's probably not even safe on the street in the first place.
Absolutely. So we used to do a lot of theme shows, and you could kind of tell when the band was beginning to run its course when we started to repeat things, because part of the joy in the beginning of it was just coming up with ideas that seemed impossible to do, and then doing them over and over and over again. And then once we sat down around the table and said, okay, we have a show coming up, what are we going to do next? Well, we did this once, let's do that again. Then we're starting to run out of gas a little bit.
Is there any one of them that really stands out as a big one in your mind?
There's so many shows with individual stories, and a lot of them have to do with the injuries that we endured. So, I don't want to encourage anyone to onstage violence, but there was one show that we did a couple times, was the aquarium show, which is a really, really bizarre idea, where we decked out the stage as if it were the inside of a giant aquarium. We suspended these fish from the ceiling, so it looked like there were fish around us. We wore scuba gear or, snorkeling masks and swimsuits. It was really kind of a silly idea. We did that once in St. Cloud, and we had our friend Corey go next door to the costume shop and get a shark outfit and just wander around the crowd wearing a shark outfit. And mind you, the crowd only had about 20 people in it. So it was a pretty ridiculous occasion. We seemed to come up with something like that every other week, and then we'd pull it off, and suddenly we weren't bored anymore.
Thanks a lot for taking time this afternoon for the interview. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Yep.
All right, well, that sounds like that was a lot of fun, John.
It was a blast, Bear. Thank you for taking it easy on me.
Yeah, thanks, Bear. That was really neat. And before we play the next song here, just wanted to mention some of the theme shows, because this next one, the first time I heard it was at the Canada night that they had at the 400 Bar. But boy, they had the Detroit Drink Off was a big hit. They gave away a car one night. They had a cage match, which was pretty entertaining. Some arm wrestling up in St. Cloud, which seems like I remember arm wrestling and losing rather quickly. The show at the What's Up Lounge where they drove in on the Grant's car, and just so many great shows that I'd seen in all the themes that they've had. And then let's just go right into the one Rush Medley. It was a crowd favorite. Every show would shout out for Rush Medley.